why would I waste my 86,400 seconds in a day being mad, sad, like letting failures and hardships, rejections, like get to me. And
Everything that goes into a relationship is not just attractiveness. There's
mhm.
intuitiveness, emotionalness, communication. But we don't understand it because it never was taught to us.
Everyone starts from somewhere. Everyone starts from zero. And so, like, it doesn't matter where you start, you'll get there eventually as long as you stay consistent with it. In my whole life, I've just been, overcoming adversity after adversity. And if I can help other people do that and recognize that they can do that,
How did that last question make you feel? The one I just asked.
man, it made me a little emotional. I needed those powerful words to, flip that switch, to make sure that I do get up and ground every day, to make sure that I am comfortable being uncomfortable. And like that was such a big learning moment because, that was my first love.
What's going on, brothers and sisters around the world? It's your boy Terrell with the Y Humphrey. We here with another special guest, Jacob Tatom. What it do, brother?
I'm doing really good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Cannot complain. How's your day going so far?
It's going really good. Went to the gym, watching some NFL game day, getting ready to watch my Dolphins. Probably lose to the Bills, but that's all right. It'll be fun.
Well, at least you know. At least you know. At least you're not a
Yeah.
Cowboys fan that's delusional. But
Yeah, exactly. No, our third string, I don't have too much faith in him, but
you
hey,
have
we'll see. Anything can happen, so we'll see.
how are you doing mentally?
Oh man, I've been doing really good. My thing is, everyone has their story. Man, I have my story. I've been through a lot of things in my life, and recently, my girlfriend I thought, I'd be with, for a long time, broke up with me. But I believe, God takes people out of your life for a reason. Um, everything happens for a reason, just for better doors and opportunities to open up. And so, Inky Johnson, actually, we saw at the conference, he said something like really inspirational that kind of related with me. He said, good things fall apart, so even better things fall together. And, that was just like, that really resonated with me, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm the main character in my story, so I've always kind of remembered that. And, like, that's why I try to be as big as inspiration as I can, because people ask me, like my friends and everything, like, man, how do you keep going? How do you keep doing what you're doing? And I run on my failures, rejections, hardships. That's my fuel that makes me keep going. And so Steve Harvey had like one of the best quotes I've ever heard. He was talking about seeds, and seeds grow in darkness, and they need that dirt to develop. You need that dirt. That's the nutrient that keeps you going. That's how you grow. And so, why would I waste my 86,400 seconds in a day being mad, sad, like letting failures and hardships, rejections, like get to me? And like, why would I let them control my mind and control my future and my goals? You know what I mean? And so, like, I just try to use every bit of those seconds to, be better as a person, be better, as a human being, son, brother, everything like that. And something that's actually helped me a lot is meditating every day. I actually used to be in Taekwondo, and so I remember we used to meditate for like 5 minutes before, before every class. And I remember that really helped me, but I kind of stopped doing it for a while, and I just started doing it again. And man, like the difference is just crazy. But I believe just, every failure is a step closer to success, and just knowing that like nothing in life can break me, it's such a powerful feeling that I have, that I just feel like it's the best feeling in the world, knowing like life, it can hurt me, but it's not gonna break me. And also too, like ET, we met at the conference, he preaches like, what's your why? You got to have that why to keep going, to never stop. You got to have that why, whether it's mother, father, brother, sister, whoever it is. Got to have that why to keep you going. And that's why, like, when I hit my snooze, I try to never hit my snooze alarm in the morning, because I want to make sure I get up and get going what I'm doing, because I know there's people that are counting on me. And I truly believe that, like, how do I put it? I truly believe that your lack of commitment, like, is almost like an insult to the people that believe in you. You know, so you just gotta have that. You gotta have that commitment, that drive, to that consistency to keep going and make sure you're helping people whoever that you can. And like my mom and dad, they've sacrificed a lot for me to get where I am today, and that's why I'm trying to do whatever I can, be consistent, make sure that I do become best and like achieve every goal that I have, so I can help and take care of them in the future like they did for me. And that's where I am mentally, man. My best learned character development is to overcome adversity. I've tried to preach that to myself my whole life, and if I overcome adversity, I can overcome anything, just like anybody. And to know that, to never give up and just never quit, is just, it's the best feeling in the world. And that's really what makes me happy and like eternally grateful, knowing that I can do that. And I hope everyone can.
And you're absolutely right. Jacob, how old are you?
18.
18, man.
Yes.
Excuse me. I'm 23, and I went
Yeah.
through a
Nice.
divorce. I went through a divorce. That
Yeah.
man, listen, it broke my
Yeah.
heart. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know why
Yeah.
it took place at the time that it happened. But man, it was a blessing in disguise, because I had to learn more about myself. I had to learn
Exactly. Yeah.
that everything that goes into a relationship, not just attractiveness. There's intuitiveness, emotionalness, communication. But we don't understand it because it never was taught to us.
Yeah.
What does love mean to you?
Man, since I'm only 18, I feel like I don't have the best like words to describe it. But from what I've learned so far, love means to me, like, man, love means to me, like, and you need to make sure the relationship is transformational rather than transactional. Another thing we learned at the 7-Figure Speaker Conference, that you need to make sure those relationships that you have, you make sure that they're giving to you what you're giving to them. And love means to me, like you said, not only attractiveness, but you need to make sure that not only do you make them happy, but they need to make you happy as well.
Like you, I struggled with finding myself. I didn't have a purpose, I didn't have a dream, and I was just lost. I was depressed. Not only was I depressed, I had to find out how to heal. So here's the thing, I created 10 tips to shift your mindset, because if your mindset is not right, things will be overwhelmed. My new book is out and it's called Master Your Mind. 10 tips to shift your mindset. If you want a new copy to learn more about yourself, to learn from somebody that went through what you're currently dealing with, click this link down below. Click this link down below, because the story is so impactful, because it's gonna demonstrate to you that you're not the only one. You're not the only one that was depressed. You're not the only one that was heartbroken. You're not the only one that felt lonely. When you learn from other people, you're able to grow, because you're able to see and put yourself in their position. Again, I created a book, Master Your Mind, 10 tips to shift your mindset. In order to get the book, you have to click the link that's going to be in the description. Click it, get it, read it. And please let me know, please leave a review on how this book made you feel inside, and how you're going to use the tips to implement in your everyday life. I'll see you there.
The reason why I asked that difficult question, because it is a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
But the reason why I asked it is because as you went through your pain and your suffering, you learn more after the fact than you did before.
Yeah.
So I learned what a relationship is, and what it consists of is a foundation amongst each other, not just
Yeah.
each other, but for yourself. If you don't know who you are as an individual, this person that's coming to your life, it can either be a blessing or a lesson.
Yeah.
How do I identify that if we know nothing about who we are as an individual?
Yeah.
When I went through my divorce, it was so hard to accept, because I thought I was doing everything right. I thought to be a great husband, you have to
Yeah.
feel this other person needs. Man,
Exactly.
you have to
Yeah.
come whole. This other person has to come whole, and y'all grow together, right? Just like the conference that we met at, the 7-Figure Conference, it's all about nourishing a relationship. If you don't understand why you're in this setting with this other person, it would end. Not just a spousal relationship, your business partner, your brother, your family, your cousin, like any other person that you come encounter with, that you want to grow and learn with. You have to know, whatever you bring to the table, they have to bring to the table something as well. I like something that ET said every time, it's for everybody that's watching: feed those that are feeding you.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was incredible, man.
When
Yeah.
he said that, I'm like, that makes sense. I
Yes.
understood the power of relationships, but he really took it to a deeper level.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, okay. You can't do nothing by yourself. Why
Yeah.
would you want to do anything by yourself? What was your biggest takeaway from the conference?
Oh man,
It was
I
a
got
lot.
that question. Yeah, I got that question a couple of times, and I look back at my notes, and I have about 15 pages of notes and gems, everything that they dropped. But the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that resonated with me was when Jeremy Anderson said, what was the exact quote? I'll come back to it, but one of the things with Inky Johnson about the mug when he started out doing that show, and he came up to him after and he's like, man, he's thinking like, what am I gonna get for this, and then he gave him a coffee mug, and it just shows that it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish, and he stayed consistent with treasure that he got, and he stayed consistent with it, and now he's one of the greatest motivational speakers of all time, just because he stayed consistent. Not he didn't care that it was a mug, but he said he used that as fuel to keep going and doing speech after speech, and eventually that's where he got. And I think it was Jeremy Anderson that said, you need to beat inconsistency. And I think that's just so true, because you need to stay committed to what you want to do to become the best. And another one just popped in my mind. Jen Golly, when our last session, she was going through those 8 things that successful people do, and I believe number 7 was don't compare your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. And that was like that really hit home for me, because like I'm a super competitive person, and so like, I think one of my problems is I always compare myself to others, and like knowing that you don't have to compare, like she said, your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. Everyone starts from somewhere, everyone starts from zero, and so like it doesn't matter where you start, you'll get there eventually, as long as you stay consistent with it.
And that's the difficulty of life. Consistency differentiates us as human beings, makes us different, makes us stand out, because we're constantly doing it every day.
Yes.
You say Jen was her name, right? Jen, she said something.
Mm-hmm.
You compare your chapter 1 to your chapter 20.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to start your podcast?
Man, so I've been looking to do it for a long time, and how I want to start it is, I've been doing kind of a lot of research, looking into certain tools, websites, apps that can help me get to that platform on Spotify or iPodcasts, and so that's why actually I'm here today to ask you, how can I start the podcast and I get to your level, man?
So, great question.
Yeah.
No, but the reason why I asked that is because, like Gene said, you can't compare your chapter 1 to your chapter 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that you're doing your research. It's good that you're looking into it. Okay, but here's the technicalities behind it. Here's the strategic plan behind it. You got a pen and a piece of paper?
Yeah, I got it right here.
A distribution platform. So what this is a platform to where when you post once, it's going on 15 different other platforms. So if you have a distribution, 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 I think I spelled distribution right.
Yeah, you did.
It will make your process a lot more easier, from posting on Apple Podcast, Spotify. It's like a whole bunch of other different platforms, but you post once, but it go to 15 other platforms just one time.
Yeah.
So that's the system. That's the distribution platform. What are you going to speak about? What is the podcast for?
So that's why I actually went to the motivational speaking conference, because I really want to get to that next level about motivational speaking, and I'm actually starting a book about like motivational tips and how to overcome adversity, overcome failures. So I really want to add another element, to my life, to my career, and that podcast would come in perfectly for that. So I just really want to reach out to people and inspire them, like Eric Thomas and Inky Johnson, Jeremy Anderson, like they inspired me, and I think this is another tool to reach out to people that would really resonate and help with them.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. You already have an idea. So the purpose of my podcast excuse me, is to speak about mental health, personal
Mm.
development, and awareness. The reason why I started this, at first when I started, I just started just to start. You know, it was a good idea.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought about it and ran with it. But now I'm being more strategic. What do I need to speak about and why? The purpose of the podcast is bring awareness to mental health, personal development, and to say everything that you're going through is a reason, but you can overcome it. When we first started the conversation, you said that I have my story. I'm only 18, but I have my story. Everybody has a story, but
Oh yeah.
most majority of people that you come encounter with, their stories are similar with yours. Just different parts are just tweaked a little bit. So I'm doing that to bring value to people to say you can believe in yourself, but if you're consistent with the process, you can be at level 20
Oh
in
yeah.
years to come. Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm only on maybe level 5. Let's say
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Nothing happens overnight.
Nothing. Please, you already know this. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be. It's not gonna happen overnight. Nothing ever happens
Hmm.
overnight. It look like that. The way that you can reach out to people, social media.
So
If,
oh yeah.
if a person is saying something and it resonates with you, reach out to them. Reach out to them via DM. If they got an email, just reach out to them and see if they want to come onto the platform. Introduce yourself. Tell them, like for instance, if I was to reach out to you, I said, my name is Terrell Humphrey. I have a podcast called Failure's Knowledge. It's a podcast that empowers people to become the best version of themselves.
Mm.
I reached out to you because I see that you, let's say, you believe in yourself. I just use that as an example. You
Yeah.
believe in yourself. I just want to have a conversation to learn more about how you got to this phase. If you like to schedule more, here's my calendar link. We can set up a day to speak more.
Yeah.
Majority of people are gonna say yeah. Majority of people are gonna say no. Some people are gonna charge. Some people not gonna charge. Here's a tip: if somebody's charging you for them to come onto your platform, just go with somebody else.
Yeah.
I had some.
Okay. Yeah.
I reached out to a woman. I don't remember her name, but I reached out to her because she was talking about relationships. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna reach out to her, see if we can, bring value to each other. She told me her fee was like $500 just for.
Oof. Man. Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand your value, I understand your experience, but there's people that will come onto your platform that you won't have to charge, that won't
Yeah.
charge you for it. If you build relationships with people, that is another hack. Anybody that you come encounter with is doing something successful, that's believing in themselves, that's have a success that they created for themselves. Build a relationship with them and ask them, hey man, I got a podcast. Can you come on? Excuse me. Like, I'm telling you, that when Eric Thomas said that, I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah. They really. Yeah.
She'll really help you achieve more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I had on my platform, I built some type of relationship with them, and then came on. Of course, it's some cold outreach, meaning people that don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm learning, the more I get in these rooms, the more I can build a connection.
Exactly.
I don't know if you noticed what I was doing at the conference, but I strategically stick out.
Oh yeah. No, man. I was gonna say, man, your suit. Oh man, that was the best suit I've ever seen. That blue velvet. Man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate.
Yeah.
Guess how many people remember that blue jacket?
Oh, everyone did. I'm sure. Yeah, man. As soon as I got home, I was looking for one.
So keep going to events,
Yeah.
but be strategic behind the planning that you're doing. I don't need to meet everybody that's in the room. You don't need to meet everybody that's in the room. You just need to meet like a couple people that you actually build a genuine relationship with. But you can't find that if you don't go out and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of a lot about the podcast and relationships, but did that help you to where to start?
Oh, absolutely, man. Of course.
Okay. What do you think of the name of the podcast is going to be?
Man, I've been thinking a lot about that, but I haven't come up with one specific one yet. But I'm thinking, I want to have the word motivational in it because that's that's what the podcast is going to be about, to motivate people and overcome adversity. So I want to try to tie the title in with that, so recognizable, and so people know what it's about right away.
Okay. When you find out your name, Google it to make sure it's not taken.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Yeah, man.
when I
That'd be
started,
fun.
my podcast, it was before I started. It was this name called By Any Means. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
ooh, that's hard. By Any
Yeah.
Means.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I got excited. I got like stoked about it. I googled that. Well, somebody asked me, "Did you Google?" I was like, "No." I was like, "You should do that."
Yeah.
Okay. By Any Means, it was taken. My heart was.
Oh man. I think failure is knowledge is a better name, anyways, man. It's perfect.
I agree. They can
Yeah.
have that one.
Yeah. Exactly. They can have that, man. It's better.
So how did you start developing personally?
Oh man, that's a good question. How did I develop personally? So, you know, man, it kind of started. So I was born in Colorado. Let me start here. I was born in Aurora, Colorado. Lived there for 14 years, and my whole life, basketball has been my everything. And so, like, I lived through it. You know, that's where I went when the hard time would come up. I would go to the courts, and that'd be like my mental escape. And so I moved to Maine, 4 years ago in 2018, August 2018. And so it was right before high school. I wanted to try out for the basketball team my freshman year. I did, and I was cut. And then I was like, okay, I just need to work harder. And so I come back my sophomore year. I was cut again. And I was like, okay. That night I got cut my sophomore year. I don't know what to do, man. I went out on the grass and I just sat and cried. To be honest with you, I felt defeated, and I walked home just thinking, what was I gonna do? And that never give up mentality has just never been in me. And so, but I needed that little extra push just to get me to that next level. And so that's where it all started for me. Was when my sophomore year, I came home, plugged my earbuds in, and I was just looking for motivational speakers. I've never done that before. And I was like, maybe I need to try a new method. And I came across Eric Thomas. Man, I'm telling you, when I just switched to flip, and it really got me started. And I think that's where I started developing personally. It was my sophomore year in high school. I started getting up 5 a.m., going to the courts before school, go to work from 3 to 8, come back, play basketball again from 9 to 10 o'clock at night. I just wanted to make sure I was the best and no one would outwork me. I did, and I made the varsity next year. And so I think it just started growing from there and there, because I wanted to try to be better than the day before. And so that's when I started, my charity basketball tournament. I'm trying to start my basketball kids camp right now. And, I'm writing my book. And so from there on, I just been developing personally. And, I think, like Eric Thomas said, you need that why. And so I look at everyone around me, my family, friends. I do what I do for them. Mm-hmm. Well, not only for them, for me as well, but I do it for them, and I want to make sure that they have a good lives as well. And so if I keep developing and I keep growing, the sky's the limit.
It's crazy how something tragic that happens forces us to start learning more about ourselves.
Yeah.
Your same story, because I played football. Mm-hmm. 9th and 10th grade. I wasn't that good. I played JV, junior varsity team, my 9th year, 9th and 10th. But for some reason, it didn't dawn on me why I couldn't play Friday, why I couldn't play on Friday nights.
Yeah.
I didn't put that work in. So my 10th grade summer season, off season, that was going into the 11th grade, we was at this training camp, and my coach had put me at linebacker. When he put me at linebacker, I seized the opportunity, because that's where I've been playing my whole life.
Yeah.
But once I seized it, I learned that I had to keep this position. Not only did I become obsessed, I learned that hard work really pays off. If you're not on your craft each and every day, somebody's right behind you waiting to take the position.
Exactly.
it is one play away from
Mhm.
starting. So I went all out. I went crazy. Every day
Oh
after
yeah, nice.
practice, I was working out more. I was watching film more. I was dedicated to my craft. Nothing or no one was gonna take my position, my place that
Yes.
I earned, if it were that I had to change the opportunity for, but I kept over time. You say your why is your family. What is
Oh
your
yeah.
why for yourself?
My why for myself is, man, like I said, I'm a competitive person, but
Mhm.
I believe my why for myself is just to be the best. I want to work harder than the person next to me, and I believe my why I do what I do is because I want to try to help others, and that fills that, not necessarily a hole in my heart, but it fills that feeling to be able to know that I can help others and I can make a change in the world for the better.
You can, and you are. Yeah, you
Yeah.
only 18 and you doing so much.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
I thought I was doing a lot. Nah,
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
nah, you're doing an amazing job. What made you want to start your charity basketball
Tournament, yeah.
tournament? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah, yeah. Man, so it was, let's see, it was December 2021, and uh I just came off of a 5v5 tournament, basketball tournament. I came in second place. That's all right. No, but and I was like, of course I love basketball so much, and I was just thinking to myself, I want to start a tournament. I want to like help others, and so basketball is just such a passion to me that I believe it's more than a game. And so I thought of, I was thinking of ways that I could bring people together through the art of basketball to do better for the community. And so, I've always loved the American Red Cross, and so, what everything that they do, because I have family in Texas, and like, uh, you know, they Hurricane Ike and everything like that. They've been through it, and like, they've lost their homes and everything. So I think American Red Cross, when they try to help, is just absolutely amazing. And so I kind of put the two together, and so I was like, man, charity and basketball. And so that's when I kind of started the process in beginning of 2022. Like, if I bring teams together to play for charity. And so that's what I did. I had my first annual tournament in July of 2022, and we had, just getting the logistics together. So we only have 4 teams play. It was a 3v3 tournament, but we only had 4 teams play to compete, and the winner would donate the money to the American Red Cross. And so we're having our second annual tournament this July again, and the sign-up's out, and I'm just excited, man. We're gonna have food trucks there. It's gonna be awesome. So we're bringing teams together, to compete for charity, and it's just, I feel like there's not a better way to do it than through the game of basketball.
That is heart-filling,
Yeah.
heart fulfilling. There you go.
Yeah.
Simply because, like you stated earlier, that you went through adversity after adversity after adversity when you didn't make the team your ninth to 10th grade year.
Yeah.
You kept pushing through. You kept finding a way to push through and find that motivation, find that drive, because you started to switch your mindset. You started to listen to things that will help you rather than destroy you. You're bringing this value to other people to say it is okay to believe in yourself, and this is how you do it. Because I'm a walking testimony.
Yeah.
What do you think that the most? What are you most proud of for yourself?
Man, I don't think it's what I'm most proud of. I don't believe that it's a materialistic thing for me. I believe it's more of a mental thing. And the thing I'm most proud of for myself, honestly, is overcoming adversity, knowing that, like, I'll never give up. And my dad actually, taught that a lot to me. My whole life, like, whether it was a physical pain or mental pain, he said pain is only temporary. It will pass. And I believe that really resonated with me. And my whole life, I've just been, overcoming adversity after adversity. And if I can help other people do that and recognize that they can do that, that's the ultimate goal, man. And that's, ultimately what I'm most proud of as well, is that I'm able to overcome those humps and, help other people overcome those humps as well.
Mm. The charity event. If you all need somebody, a speaker to come and help, man, I would love to come help. If y'all
Oh
need me,
man, yeah, I'll pay for your flight. Come up here, man.
I
Yeah,
will come. I
that'd
will
be no,
come.
that'd be amazing, man. Yeah, let's talk about that. That'd be perfect.
Yes, sir. Because what I learned, it it really dawned on me yesterday when I did two speaking engagements yesterday.
Nice.
One was with the former program that I used to attend when I was younger. Then another one I had hosted a meet and greet, my first meet and greet, just to put myself out there.
Yeah.
The first one that I held, where that I went to, I told I spoke about why I keep coming back.
Hmm.
I explained, I was like, this program is kind of like playing sports. You're there with your brothers each and every day going through the grind. So they understand you more than the people that's at school. You feel me? Because you're there
Hmm.
grinding and practicing every day. I said this program is kind of like the football team because we come here and be around our friends and family.
Exactly.
As I'm speaking, I talked about vulnerability. I asked, does anybody know what vulnerability is?
Hmm.
I was like, no. Then might raise a hand. I said, vulnerability is when you're able to express how you're feeling and what you're going through and why. Once I got done speaking, it was this young man that came up to me and he asked me a question. And this Jacob, when I tell you when he asked me this question, this how I know I'm supposed to be doing this because I understand the power of exposure and understanding and growth. He asked me, he said, man, how do you overcome you losing somebody? He
Mm.
was, I asked him, when did you lose somebody? He said, last year I lost my dad.
Oh man.
Said, man, I'm
Mm.
sorry to hear that. As I was about to explain, I said, man, to be honest, I lost my grandma back in 2009. So I don't want to direct you in the wrong direction. For some reason, God just flipped my words and understood this young man has nobody to go through. So
Hmm.
I'm the source to answer his problems because a lot of people don't know how to communicate that. A lot of people don't know what it is. A lot of people don't know what vulnerability is or even to know yourself. So as I'm speaking with him, I just told him you have to start writing down how you're feeling. You have to really express to yourself, I'm feeling this type of way because of this. And that is okay to express your emotions. When we got done talking, bro, my heart was fulfilled because I knew I was supposed to be walking in this path. I knew
Exactly.
I know I'm supposed to be doing this and to help other people build and personally develop for themselves. Bro, it it's very fulfilling. God will show you why, right? How do you handle the success that you're accumulating for yourself?
Well, I mean, man. So this journey started for me, my sophomore year, and so I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And my last year, I did a motivational speech for fifth grade class, and the next day I came and like the kids made signs for me, and it just it showed me how much it resonated with them, and it just made me so appreciative of like how I inspired them. And so that's why I'm going to get to that next level to be successful, the most successful I can be. And how I deal with that success is just making sure that I do what I'm supposed to do on this earth over and over and over again. And like a great quote that I remember that's them saying at the Seven Figure Speaker Conference is, don't let the little successes be an enemy of your massive success. And so, I don't want my little successes, my little battles won to, get to my head, and so they do become an enemy of my massive successes in the future. And so, I want to make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do and I'd be consistent with it. So I make sure that I continue to do what I do rather than just letting the successes, the little successes get to my head. And so then like if I let my little successes get to my head, then I feel like I will become fulfilled. And I never want to become fulfilled. I want to, I want to keep eating. I want to keep making sure that I go on and go on. I never want to get full. So I want to make sure that no matter what, I don't let my little successes become the enemy of my massive successes. So I keep going and going and going.
Mm, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I've learned as we're going through our phases, as we're going through life, everything that we're doing is massive. Every
Hmm.
day we get up and take action and do what we know we supposed to be doing, that is massive because it's
Hmm.
really creating discipline, awareness, and belief within yourself. But as you're doing it each and every day, it's slowly compounding, slowly stacking on top of each other. How did that question make you feel? How did that last question make you feel? The one I just asked.
Man, it made me a little emotional because I know that I do what I do to inspire others. And like my father, my mother, Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, Jeremy Anderson, David Goggins, those all, they changed my life. And so if I'm able to change these other kids' lives, it's so incredible. And I was actually watching a documentary on Netflix about Stephen Marbury, a kid from Coney Island. And at the end of the documentary, Stephen Marbury is talking to this kid in a barbershop, and Stephen Marbury asks, what does he want to be when he grows up? And the kid says, I want to be in the NBA like you. And Stephen Marbury says, why not the president? And the kid, like, he just kind of sat there and thought. And Stephen Marbury is like, no one ever told you could be the president? And the kid shook his head no. And I got so emotional, man, because, like, that's what I want to do. I want to help kids realize they can do anything. They're not limited. Being an NBA is perfect. It's an amazing goal. Dream as big as farther than you can see. But don't limit yourself to what you can be. When Stephen Marbury told him that he could be president, his eyes just like blew up. Like they were just, he was like, man, I can be the president, and it's such an amazing thing to see when you change someone's life.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can actually feel how much they, just believe within themselves. Like this is
Exactly.
does something different. When every time, like, don't get me wrong, there's other motivation speakers: Les Brown, Jim Rohn,
Oh
Jay
yeah.
Cutler, Brian Tracy. There,
Hmm.
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that's inspiring the community, the masses. But it's like when you get exposed to new information, when you get exposed to something that you never knew existed,
Hmm.
you can go back. You cannot go back. I think Jeremy Anderson just said this. Exposure leads to expansion, which means that you
Hmm.
can't go back what you've been exposed to. You can't unseen what you already saw.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, that make a lot of sense. That make a lot of sense. The only limitations that we have for ourselves is in us because we don't know nothing else.
Mhm.
How do you see what you can become if it's not presented to you every day? If you're not
Exactly.
seeing it or hearing it or understanding it every single day? I've learned what we're doing is not just for us.
Exactly.
It's not. It's really to give the people that we come encounter with a new light of success. How do you motivate yourself to keep pushing forward? I understand your why, but take me a little bit deeper. How do you keep pushing forward when times are getting hard?
You know, like I said, when I motivate myself by that's a great question. Every day when I hear that snooze alarm, I don't push the snooze alarm. I'm not automatically get up, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I don't, but I usually try to do 20 push-ups right as soon as I get out of bed. And like that just automatically wakes me up. That automatically makes me motivated to, do what I need to do throughout the day. And just I'm a very statistical person, very analytical with numbers and everything like that. And so like, it's 86,400 seconds in a day, something like that. And I make sure that I make use of every single one of them. And I make sure that I never waste a second, because time is not guaranteed, for anyone. And in Rocky 3, Apollo Creed and Rocky are in the ring. Rocky's not really feeling himself, and he looks tired and stuff like that. And then Apollo's just beating him up, sparring, and Rocky was like, "Man, we'll do it tomorrow." And Apollo goes, "There is no tomorrow." And I just think about that every single day. And tomorrow's not guaranteed, and so I need to make use of every single second to make sure I am the best, and that I do the best for the people around me and what they need. And so that that really motivates me to know that time's not guaranteed, and if I do what I need to do today, I'm not going to have regrets tomorrow.
I meant to say this earlier when you said something about the seconds. I felt that you're very analytical.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention, did you know that there were 36 million seconds in a year?
No, I did not know that. Yeah.
Of course, there's some change after that, but I can't remember the exact numbers. I just remember 36 million comma circle. You feel me? So I think, to be honest, I think it's 36,786,200. But I could be wrong. But I feel like I'm close.
Yeah. No. You are. That sounds good. That sounds good.
And you know what's so crazy? When you just describe Apollo and Rocky, it really dawned on me. Creed is Apollo's son.
Yeah.
The whole. So it makes sense. It really makes sense how much drive and ambition you need to have in order to succeed, in order to keep pushing. I mean, Rocky said, "Man, tomorrow." Rocky's like, not Rocky, but Apollo's like, "Tomorrow, there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
There is no tomorrow." We always want to push our success away because we're not ready to accept the responsibility for today.
Yes. Oof. Yeah.
That was a gem.
Yeah. That was good. That was awesome.
It's difficult to be disciplined when you understand the end goal. The end goal is not today. It would never be today. But the thing that happens is that we have to understand what we are working for. Like, prime example, these last couple of days, I hit that snooze. I hit it. Yeah. It felt good too.
It felt good. Yeah.
I typically get up around like 5:30, get up and then get my day started. But woke last 3 days, woke up at 7:00. So it feel kind of good.
Yeah. No, definitely, man.
But even then, once I get up, I get the day started. So it's not like I'm pushing away anything. I'm just
exactly. Yeah.
But I also feel the difference between waking up at 5:30 to 7:00. You get more stuff done.
Exactly.
I get a lot, bro, Jacob. I get a lot of stuff done. I didn't even know I can accomplish it in that certain amount of time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What book are you reading now?
Never Finished by David Goggins.
Never.
I was like, yeah, it was actually it's the second to his sequel. The first one he did was Can't Hurt Me. Okay. But Never Finished by David Goggins is just, man, it's incredible. He was Eric Thomas and David Goggins were really the ones that kind of, flipped that switch in me my sophomore year. And, I asked for it for Christmas, a few weeks ago, last year. And my mom got it for me, and I was like, man, I got so excited because like he's such an inspiration, and like he really talks about being comfortable. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, I felt like it was going to get deep.
I know.
Cut out.
Interrupted. Just cut out. I was like, we gotta overcome that adversity though. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Did you
All
remember what
right.
you were saying?
Yeah, so David Goggins, let's see, sophomore year. Yeah, for lack of a better term, I was soft, and so I didn't have that hard mentality. His famous expression, stay hard, and so like I needed those powerful words to motivate. That was another thing that motivated me. I needed those powerful words to flip that switch, to make sure that I do get up and grind every day, to make sure that I am comfortable being uncomfortable. And so while I'm reading this book right now, I see his life story, and I see how he never quit. And it comes so far down to let's see, I just read the last chapter. He was in, I want to say, Texas, and he was visiting family for Christmas, and it was like he was preparing for a 100-mile race in 24 hours. And so he was running like 10, 20 miles every single day. And, the weather was like 90, degrees, Texas weather. And I believe it was the last day of the week that they were going to be there at his wife's family's house. And it was the hottest day of the year. And he said that he was gonna run the most miles that he ran that week on the hottest day, because he knew that no one else was gonna be doing that. And so that really clicked with me, because I don't know if you see my TikTok, but I have videos of me going up to the courts, when it's like 15 degrees. And because I knew, like 10 o'clock at night, because I knew no one else would be doing that. And I knew that's what I needed to do to be a better basketball player. And so, like, just reading about his success story and how the things that he does it's so inspirational. And what he's doing for me, that's what I want to do for others. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
Because how I started my journey, bro, I started back in August of 2020. And when I started in real estate. Don't get me wrong, real estate is very lucrative, but if you don't have a system behind everything, you're losing leads. You're not you're losing people to speak out to. You're losing your organization. I was just doing it just to doing it. So I was taking inconsistent action, imperfect action, and trying to create something out of nothing. It was hard for me to understand what business was with real estate, how to actually make real estate lucrative. So fast forward to June of 2022 through September of 2022, I was working with my mentors. I met them, and they brought me in their life to teach me everything that happens within a business. Reaching out, cold calling, text messaging every day. You have to follow up. How do you communicate? How do you listen? How do you listen to what's not being spoken about? How do you solve the problem? It was so much. But it made me a better communicator, because my mentor Steve was like, Terrell, you sound like a kid. When you get on the phone with somebody and you ask them, like, do you want to sell their house, or are they open to selling? They be like, no. Well, if anything changes, please give my number. I get out the phone. Yeah. Like, Terrell, no, you're not
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm like, they said they want to sell, so all the full information is not there. He's like, no, you gotta listen. It's hard to get these people on the phone, but when you get them on the phone, you need to have a conversation with them. I'm like, oh. It didn't resonate until like maybe before I left in September, but I was starting to understand. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Rather than get off the phone so quick, what do you need help with? Are you thinking about selling? Have you been thinking about selling? When is the time frame that you want to sell? You're constantly asking questions to get the problem out this person. I'm like, oh, that's mind-boggling. So it really taught me how to be uncomfortable. Have you ever cold called?
I don't believe I have.
Okay, if you ever do, it's gonna be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Just imagine I'm calling somebody randomly, I don't know. My mentor Steve just staring me in the camera. Well, he's not staring at me, but he's on the call with me.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking with this homeowner. He's typing like what I'm supposed to say, how I'm supposed to say it, and you feel like he's typing fast.
Yeah.
But I can't read and listen to what the person is saying. So it was nerve wracking, but it was good for me because I learned how to function underneath pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen we don't understand what's happening because we have to make the conscious decision to say, I'm going to do this regardless of the fact.
Oof. Yeah.
When you went out in that cold weather, 15 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
you was building more discipline mentally than anything.
Yeah.
How did you feel as you was perfecting your craft?
Mm-hmm. Man, it's when I play basketball, is to me there's no other greater feeling in the world. And so I knew if I was out there continuously every day, in the winter, 15, 20 degree weather, I knew no one else would be doing that. And if they were, and I guess I need to be doing it more. You know what I mean? So I need to make sure that, no one is doing what I do. And so, man, just how I felt during that was just, like I said, there's no other greater feeling in the world. And, I do truly believe that if you go through that pain, mentally, physically, to push yourself to be better, then if another failure, rejection, whatever it is, comes up later in life, you're prepared for it. You know how to deal with it. You know how it will make you better.
I agree. I definitely agree. You remember when you said that the girl that you thought, the young lady that you thought you was gonna be in a relationship with for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all ended.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was something to help build you internally, because
Yes.
my divorce built me
Mm-hmm.
because it was something I never dealt with before.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know how to deal with. So now it's just one adversity is coming. It's here. It's present. It's in today's time. How we overcoming something that's hard. We going through the process. We're trying to figure out how to heal instead of pushing it away. But as you're dealing with one adversity, another comes on top of it. So not only are you trying to heal from the first one, the other just keeps stacking. Like prime example, I was going through my divorce in June 29th of 2022. I totaled my car out. So one adversity on top of another, but the first adversity taught me how to handle the second one.
Exactly.
It was my fault that we got in a car accident. My phone fell. I looked down, and then as I looked up, we was coming to a stop. We was in traffic. Crazy mistake. However, I looked up, turned to the right. I hit the back left, and I got hit from behind.
Oof.
I pulled over to the side, made sure I was good, and I got out. Checked my body, made sure I wasn't bleeding or nothing. I asked the woman that was in front of me. I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "She's had her bumper was just messed up. That's it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Off. The guy behind me, his front end was like pushed in. So I asked him, "Was it okay?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm cool." Cool. I looked at my car. I said, "I'm gonna get another car."
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna get another car. Same day, June 29th, I'm gonna get another car. Week later, July 7th, I got another car.
Nice.
But I was able to handle that second adversity because I was going through the pain of healing from my first one. What did your breakup teach you?
Man, that was such a big learning moment because that was my first love, and so it taught me like you said, like how to overcome adversity and how to deal with that second failure. And it taught me just things happen for a reason. And it's kind of, it may be cliche, but it's the truth. Things happen for a reason. Her being gone in my life is just another reason for another door to open. It's just another reason for another opportunity to arise. And I think that just is really the case. And a similar story to yours, actually. She broke up with me a few months ago, and December 16th, had a bad ice storm up in Maine. I was driving and I kept turning my wheel left, and my car kept going straight. And it kept going straight right into a pole. Bam, $5,500 worth of damages. I was like, okay. And so, it is what it is. And a week later, we're having winds, like gusts of winds, like 50, 60 miles per hour. Wake up, like, I think 6:30 in the morning. I'm walking downstairs and I hear a super loud crash. Go outside, a tree in our yard falls right on my car. Whole back windshield is out. My trunk is all messed up. The week later, that's another $3,000 worth of damages. And my insurance actually just came out last week. And so I got a plastic window for my back and everything, man. But things like that teach me, like you said, how to deal with that second failure, because having a breakup, is hard, but it's how you deal with that will make you be prepared for the next person that comes in your life. And having a breakup, it will teach you how to be a better person. It would, it'll teach you how to deal with things that you've never dealt with before.
That is a needed lesson to learn. It is very vital that everything that happens for a reason, but what's the lesson behind it?
Yeah.
We get so caught in the moment, we get so caught in the pain, we get so caught in the heartbreak, we don't understand there's more to this. But God ain't gonna show you what the more is until you're willing to go through the tunnel. And go through the tunnel until the light is shown when you create the light. Not just you, but God is slowly opening for you. Slowly open your eyes of what you're supposed to see and why you're doing this. So it's no longer attractiveness. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, attractiveness. Like, who can I attract? Not just for my spouse, but for my business partners, for my family, for my circle. Like, how can I attract the right people instead of attract? Hold on. I think attractiveness, like the physical. It's not about the what you look like. But how can we be on a spiritual realm, the same spiritual realm, and grow together? That's better. That's better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, okay, cool. The attractiveness, and now it sounds like the same thing. So let me rephrase it. But when you heal, you attract the right people that have been through what you have experienced.
Yes.
Details just tweaked a little bit, but same story.
Yeah.
I only have one segment. It's called Best for Last. And during this segment, I ask 4 last questions, and you answer them with a quick explanation and response. Quick response and explanation.
Okay.
All right. So the first question: how do you keep your composure?
Man, how do I keep my composure? Is I grew up in a family like kind of has a lot of anger issues, and so I kind of I look at that, and honestly, I just be like, that's not how I want to be. I want to be better. And so I keep my composure when certain situations do come around. I realize, those seconds that I have in a day, and I don't want to waste them being angry, being sad, being mad. So that kind of instantly, clicks in my mind. Like, I want to be better, and I don't want to waste these seconds being angry when I don't have to be.
That look, you about to open another can.
Yeah, I know. Man.
What do you regret?
Man, something I do regret is not being. Oh, man, it's hard because I don't want to have regrets in life, but everyone does. Everyone has. Oh man, I wish I would have done that better. And honestly, this is probably school-wise. Something I do regret is I wish I would have studied more. I'm still like an A/B student, whatever, but I wish I was an A student. I wish I got all A's in my classes, and I could have, but I chose to focus on other things, basketball and things like that, where I probably should have been spending, more time studying. And that's, a huge lesson I try to teach to other kids that are going through school. Like, you know, you're only in school for, you know, a fifth of your life. And so, like, you're not going to be in school that long. It may seem long while you're in the moment, but it's not going to be that long. So you might as well just, you know, study and be the best, because that dictates your future.
Mm. Yeah, you are an amazing role model. You're amazing.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
What do you regret? I mean, not regret. What are you grateful for?
Something I'm grateful for is, you know, obviously my family, you know, my dad, mom, everything they've taught me, everything that they've done for me. And another thing I'm grateful for is the mindset that I've built to, you know, never give up, overcome adversity, you know, whatever failures, rejections, hardships, whatever comes, I know how to deal with it. So I know not to let my past predict my future.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And last but not least question, what does failure is knowledge mean to you?
Man, failure is knowledge. That's such a perfect saying. Failure is knowledge. It means to me that the failures and rejections that come in your life, it's knowledge and it's a lesson to be learned. So every failure that you do go through, you think, you know, what is this teaching me? What is it? What am I going to learn from this failure? What am I going to learn from this rejection, hardship, whatever it is? What am I going to learn that will make me a better person in the end?
Man, Jacob, man, this was great. This was phenomenal.
This is absolutely amazing, man. Thank you so much.
How can people find you? How can they get in contact with you? How can they work with you?
Yeah, so I have two Instagram accounts. My first Instagram is at jacob.tatom, Tatom, not like Jason Tatum. But my other one is at streets tournament.
It's jumping.
The charity basketball tournament. I'm founding Facebook. Oh, can you hear me? Is that good now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you
hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah. But my last Instagram is at Streets Tournaments. That's the charity basketball tournament I founded, and that links straight to my Facebook as well. My number is 720-207-8285. Just contact me for any questions, motivational questions, anything. And rest of my information is on my Instagram accounts, you know, email, everything like that. Sign up is on the Streets Tournaments. Be sure people to sign up today and compete for charity, make the world better.
There you go, people. There you go,
man.
Man, hopefully I got as much value as I got from Jacob, man. When you learn more about yourself, you're able to understand the next person because you understand yourself.
Absolutely.